we have to, Jeremy.
Mike, it's just up here.
It's just.
Keep climbing, Mike.
These stairs seem like they're not gonna hold our weight, Jeremy.
They're perfectly stable.
You do this all the time.
All the time.
Jeremy. Oh.
All right, now let's right up this ladder. Follow me.
I know.
Mike.
Okay.
I know it's dark, but here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyes. It's so bright.
All right, now grab this steaming hot metal frame and pull yourself up.
Oh, it burns!
Yeah, it's good. You get calluses, it'll work out.
Oh, God, no. I don't have these types of calluses.
Smell that?
It smells like tar.
Yeah.
Why
Good
is
shit.
Why is it so gravelly?
You see, it protects the membrane from UV rays.
What? Oh.
Yes.
You nerd. Roof nerd. All right, so why are we up here?
I found a podcast for us to steal. It's up here somewhere.
It's up here on this roof?
Yeah, someone left it up here somewhere around April.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they shouldn't have done that.
Here, just walk the perimeter with me.
Okay.
Mike, be careful of the engine.
Oh, God. Oh, Jeremy, I feel like you're in your element here.
Follow me, step behind.
I will.
This part of the... Don't step on this part, it's weak.
Oh, okay.
Mike, stop jumping on it.
Oh, you made it sound so fun.
All right, I think it's right over here in this penthouse building.
Oh.
Mike, you go first.
Okay. It's unlocked.
Oh, that's rare.
Ooh. It's very dark. I think there's a light switch.
Smell that?
It smells like bacon.
And ammonia.
Well, that's not good. That's never good.
Mike, crawl under that little tiny hole right there. See if you can... I think it might be in there.
Why would it be in a tiny hole in a
I don't know.
penthouse?
People do some weird stuff. They shove things in weird places.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't see anything.
Just a little further.
Jimmy, I see it.
I knew it.
I see it. It's down here. Yeah. Okay.
Be careful. There's probably condoms, piss bottles, and drugs down there as well, Mike.
Oh, God. I don't want any of those things. Okay.
Careful of any needles.
I'm going to slide it underneath my body to you behind me.
I got it.
All right. Now grab my legs.
It's getting kind of hot in here.
I either got stuck by the needle or the condom. I don't know which one.
So I'm getting dizzy in this penthouse, Mike. We gotta get out of here.
Oh, God, okay. Can we do something cool, like hang glide off? Oh, the sky is purple now. The sky is purple. Jeremy, you are a hang glider.
Have you ever thought about jumping from one building to another, like in the movies?
Oh, like parkour Spider-Man?
Yeah, you want to try it?
Okay.
All right. Well, on the count of three.
Okay.
1,
2,
3. Oh my God, he actually did it. Oh my God, Mike, no.
I'm okay.
All right, I'm gonna take the stairs back down.
All right. I'm bleeding.
I'm coming, buddy.
My legs are broken.
Start talking about whatever they want. They're looking for some steal and treasure to hunt. Michael and Jeremy steal your podcast. Michael and Jeremy steal your podcast. They like to get crazy, talk a lot of trash. Michael and Jeremy steal your podcast.
Welcome to Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Mike.
How are you?
I'm good, man.
Oh, you're truly in your element today, my dear boy.
I'm feeling strong.
So many words and things you'll be able to talk about on today's episode as we are stealing the Roofers Roundtable,
Exciting.
where they talk about all aspects of the roofing industry.
Is that what they talk about?
Yeah, they talk about selling roofs, working on roofs, roofing stories, all parts of the industry, and anyone involved can go on that show. Now, their host, Brett Hoover...
Hutter?
Beth
Huntress.
Sorry, I'm stuck with so many empty heroin needles. Brett Hutter.
Brett Hutter.
As he takes you on a roofing adventure every episode, talking with guests and people sharing their experiences, giving insight and insider knowledge. So that's what we get to do
Thrilling stuff.
today. But we'll make it interesting. You know, we'll make roofs horny. People are so horny for these roofs. Is that plural?
Roofs?
Roofs?
Like ROOV.
Yes. A
No, I don't
roof
think I've-
and roofs.
No, roofs?
Like hoof and hooves?
No.
No?
Like who's and Whovians?
Stupid English language. I think we should try and incorporate roofs into the nomenclature. Maybe that's the main point of today, is instead of roofs, it'll be roofs.
I think
We did it.
all right. Next episode.
Hashtag make it roofs.
So these guys talk about buying and selling and building roofs and stuff.
Oh yeah, they talk to roofers and anyone in the industry that wants to tell their story, Jeremy, which you by far have way more experience on roofs than I do.
It has been my livelihood my entire adult life.
It has, yes. So you're the perfect gentleman to be doing this, because I wouldn't know shit
Well,
to
you
talk
see,
about.
I did watch a little bit of this podcast that we're stealing, and there's a difference between who I was as a roofer and who those guys are. Right? What side they're on.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the Office. It seems like, I can't speak. I don't know their history.
Yeah.
Young guys, clean cut, wearing clean clothes.
Well, that seems more the people selling the roofs. You know, the people doing the roofs, you know, those are a different.
Really pushing this roofs.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So the people working on roofs, you have a lot of wonderful stories about that life.
Fantastic. I mean, it's the best life you could live.
Yes, as we've said on the show many times, you were a transient roofer,
Yeah.
right? Which leads me to believe you're some sort of hippie nonsense bullshit incorporated into there somewhere.
No. Just a lot of hard work.
Oh, okay.
Gypsy roofing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go from state to state, city to city.
Do you guys call it peeling and squealing when you go put on a new roof?
I've heard it so many times it makes me sick.
Peel and squeal.
Peel and squeal.
Let's
That's
get
what
it,
they call
guys.
it.
Yep. Peel the old one off and squeal the new one on.
It's
It's a normal roof term.
it is. It's a
Yeah.
roof term like panther piss.
Oh yeah. Don't tell me about that.
It's a wonderful product that you spray on things that seals them tight.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's
Did
not
you
leaking
ever
through panther
joke
piss.
and spray anybody? Anyone? Did you panther piss some guy's butthole closed or something funny like that?
All that stuff causes cancer. It's not really something to play with.
Oh, okay.
I have gotten.
Oh, Jeremy got me with the panther piss.
I have gotten. I mean, you do get it all over yourself while roofing.
Do you try to protect your exposed skin from stuff like that?
I mean,
What's the PPE for roofers?
steel toe boots,
Yeah.
the high vis, hard hat, gloves.
Oh, I don't
Glass-
see a lot of
safety
people
glasses.
wearing hard hats on roofs.
No, we tend to take them off when no one's around.
Well, only when OSHA comes up.
When someone
You
clean,
have an OSHA spotter?
when someone clean comes up, and everyone's an OSHA
Ah,
spotter.
all of you.
If you're on a roof and you notice a vehicle that is parked somewhere and they've just been sitting by a job site staring at you, everyone puts their safety on.
Yes, of course. What's the fastest time frame that you've tried to do that in?
Oh, it happens. It's like that call you go like hooty hoo, and then the next guy goes hooty hoo, and then it goes throughout the roof.
An unspoken signal.
Everyone's got their noise. I'm not very loud. I'm not a very loud guy, so I yell to the person closest to me. I go to the person. I'm like, yo. To the person closest, I'm like, fucking, and I point, and then they give the signal out.
So it's usually a loud noise and then pointing.
Yep.
Okay, and then people understand.
Yep. Everyone looks over.
Yeah.
You'll tap your head. The hard hat.
Okay.
Tap your head from across the roof.
Okay. That makes sense.
You got a new guy who doesn't have a pair of boots yet. You have him go like away from everybody,
right.
somewhere where he's busy.
Have him like go use the bathroom inside the house,
Absolutely.
take all his
That's
clothes off.
that is also a big thing. Send him to the porta-john. Just, hey, go get off the roof.
I meant inside the person's bathroom, inside their house.
No. See, I didn't do residential work. I didn't work on
It was all
people.
commercial.
I've helped people put roofs on houses, but that wasn't my gig.
So you've helped people that need, you know, you're a friend, you have the know-how and expertise, and you're willing to spend an afternoon
Yes.
putting on someone's roof.
Yes. I can put it on. I just prefer not to.
Right, sure. Yeah. It's those days are over for you.
Residential roofing sucks.
Oh, I bet.
It's the worst.
The slant is a lot more than the flat roofs of commercial buildings.
Not so much the slant, just the working all day on the slant, I guess.
Oh, sure.
Not about falling off the slant. It's just about and lugging stuff up. You got to pull everything up a ladder. Commercial roofing, everything comes up on a lift. You get a bucket that brings all your tools to you, all your materials, and then you lug them across the roof.
Oh,
It's different than throwing shit over your shoulder and climbing up a ladder.
yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are badass.
Really?
Yeah, those resi guys.
They know what's up.
Yeah, they're pretty tough.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's hot. It's hot up there. It's hard work.
And they did, and man, some of these guys bang out a roof, just two guys, just all day, just two guys. They'll do it in a day or two.
Back when I was living in a house, a real house with an actual roof, the owners of the house I was renting had a new roof put on, and the guys were out there. Yeah, they did it in 2 days. I think there was 4 of them, and they were up there, and they were all Mexicans.
Yep.
And to be polite, I looked at Google Translator, and I had to translate. You know, would you all like a beer into Google Translate? And
Yes, Mike.
I walked out, and I had a 6-pack of beer, and I said in Spanish, "Would it? You know, do any of you guys want a beer?" And they were like. The guy's like, "Oh, you speak Spanish?"
Yeah, no.
It's like, a little bit.
See, all you had to do, because they automatically assume you don't speak English, right? Automatically. Or
Yeah.
that you don't speak Spanish. So if you come out, you just point at him and hold the beer and you go, "Cerveza? Cerveza?" And you just point at him. And they'll be like, "Yeah, hell yeah." They won't assume that you know how to speak. You looked it up and walked out like, I'm
Yeah.
going to fucking nail this.
Yeah, I was like, I want to be really nice to these guys. They're working hard, and I want to ask them if they want a beer in their own language.
I went out of my way to learn your language to give you these beers.
Exactly.
So pretentious.
No, I was trying to be nice. That was the whole point. Was you know, because I don't want to be like, you this yes no.
No, cerveza? That's it.
Right.
Just pointing excited at it.
Okay.
Cerveza?
Well, I went above and beyond because I'm a go-getter,
they
much
fucking-
like those roofers.
They fucking made fun of you so hard when you went back inside.
No, they didn't
Yes,
because I
they
gave them beers.
No, they were like, that fucking.
Jeremy, what classifies as a roof? Like, what's the bare minimum to call something a roof?
Well, actually, it is just the structure that keeps weather out from, that's the whole point. In different places,
So if it doesn't keep weather out, it's not a roof.
not in my book.
Okay.
If
Fair
that
enough.
thing's leaking like a sieve, then yeah, it's not a roof anymore. Different places use different methods, right?
Yeah.
So in Mexico, most of the roofs in Mexico are concrete. Mm-hmm. So there's no technical. So out here, we will have in different states, different counties, depending on the height and whatever, the deck can be concrete. Ooh. So the top of your building is concrete, and then we'll come in, put an insulation over that, and then some type of membrane over the top of that.
Yeah.
And that's the roofing system that's installed.
Ah.
But technically, if you tore all that off, like a parking garage, the top level of a parking garage
Is the roof,
is
but
the
it's
roof.
also a parking lot.
No water is getting through it. It's perfectly fine for like 80 to 100. Who knows how? I don't even know how long a concrete roof can just last like that. But it's a really long time. Mm-hmm. You could throw a system over the top of it that protects that concrete, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But in Mexico,
It's like a roof for your roof.
Yeah, in Mexico, they just have a concrete roof. that fucking almost never leaks.
Pretty soon we'll have roofs for roofs.
Well, what they're doing now, what people are trying to do now is the green roof. So they're planting grass.
To
soil.
eliminate the carbon footprint of the building.
Who knows what the fuck their excuse is?
Well, I mean, if you carve out the plot for a building, but then you take the grass or nature that was the square footage of that building and then put it on top of the building, it's like you never even hurt the nature.
It's like the building never existed.
It's like it's the big fat guy trying to hide behind a little tree.
You got a deer and some squirrels and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and brought it all the
there's
way
a grizzly bear. Not only have we created an actual ecosystem up here, but we incorporated the main hierarchy of the food chain. So there are brown bears and panthers.
Turns out the bear ate all of the deer and has now worked its way inside of the building. But yeah, they're doing that now. I see that a lot up north. And like Baltimore was wild. It's such an old city. When I was up high, I was on one of the high rises, and you could see all the little green roofs, and they're all different levels, like next to each other.
Yeah.
So like somebody walks out onto their like patio roof, and then their neighbor has a wood grass lot in the sky next to them, and they take their dogs out there to use the bathroom and stuff. It's wild. I just don't know about putting soil and weight and something that holds water and grows and has more weight to it
Right.
on a
On top
structure.
of a roof.
Yeah, because like water can cave in a roof.
And it's like, because the only thing that you have is a non-permeable barrier, and that's it.
Unless
So
they,
if a root peels up under that barrier, all of a sudden, every time it rains, it's gonna funnel.
I guess they have to have some type of drainage, I'm sure, to accommodate all that soil absorbs and holds water.
Yeah, so there's probably like rock and sand, and then it goes to like a
scupper or something.
scupper.
Well, so roofing terms are a lot like boating terms,
Really?
like sailing terms.
Well, because buildings really are just ships that don't go anywhere.
Well, you got to think a boat's getting hit with water. That water has to go somewhere. It
Yeah.
can't stay in the. So they have scuppers. All those little cutouts you'll see in like a movie of a pirate ship.
Yeah.
They got little square holes.
Yeah.
Along the deck. Those are scuppers. The water goes right off the deck through the scupper.
Ah, okay.
The same thing on a roof. You have a scupper system on a roof, and all the water is directed. You build it up, or that sometimes the deck is made to move water a certain way, or
Yeah.
the roofer will build up the insulation, the layers underneath, to direct water.
That makes sense because whenever I go to a fancy hotel, they're like, it's on the starboard side of the hotel.
Pretentious assholes. I hate those fancy hotels that you go into and you're like looking for ice. And it's like such a fancy hotel. You just imagine there's just be ice around the corner, right? Like, actually, all the ice is on the 4th floor. Like, I have to go down. Now I have to put clothes on
Yeah,
to go to the 4th floor to walk around and find the ice.
those bastards.
Instead of every level.
Yeah, they should have an ice machine. You can't afford an ice machine on every level?
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
I went to one hotel, you had to go to the lobby bartender to get ice. He would fill up your ice bucket.
If that was me, Jeremy, people wouldn't want me wandering the hotel with a bucket. At the times of the evening where I need ice, no one would want to see that.
2 a.m.
No one wants that. And he's just what? He's on ice duty at 3 a.m.
That same hotel, I locked myself out of my room in my underwear, barefoot.
Oh, Jeremy.
And my key was in my room.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, I guess I have to go to the front desk. It's the only way to get into my room.
How confident did you make yourself in that
100%.
moment? 'Cause you're like, I have to act like I'm doing this on purpose
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I
of
was
course.
like, this is how I normally walk around hotels. What's wrong with you? We're on the beach, sir. And I wear like tight like briefs so they're
Yeah.
kind of see-through.
Will be perfectly visible for a melon head tattoo once we get it.
They're sheaths, so I have the pouch, the
Yeah.
ball and dick pouch.
Yeah.
So my back inch is just pronounced. Yeah.
As a pleasant form. Yes,
sir.
Mr.
I
Ragsdale.
locked myself out of my room.
Of course. Yet again, I see. At least you're wearing your underwear this time.
I know a roofer who got locked out of his room naked.
Oh, that did happen to somebody.
He didn't have a full towel. He had the big hand towel. So he was just covering up his dick.
He was just Tarzaning it.
And he went to, by the elevator, there was a phone that goes to the front desk. He called them and he was like, hey, I locked myself out of my room. I need help. They're like, sir, just come down to the lobby. He's like, you don't understand. I can't go down to the lobby. I'm butt ass naked by the elevator right now. And he was wasted.
Oh.
And they sent up a maintenance guy with the key to let him in.
Nothing I haven't seen before, son.
He's like, well, we had a guy fall asleep in the stairwell, just shit-faced, carrying a case of Modelo. And
He almost made it.
He got partway up the stairs and he just went, this is a great place to fall asleep. And he wasn't even sleeping on one of the levels. You know, like you walk up, there's the level, and then you go.
It was in the middle of the incline.
He was on the stairs. Yeah.
Wow.
Passed out with a beer in his hand.
So he was like, he sat there. He's like, this is it.
This is it. This is where I sleep tonight.
Crack one open.
So the hotel called me. They were like, hey, I think one of your guys is passed out in the stairwell. So I went and knocked and got one of my other buddies.
I can only assume it's one of your gentlemen because everyone else here is Japanese businessmen.
We have a drunk Mexican in the stairwell, sir. Is he yours? Yeah, lots of that stuff, man. That's the roofing lifestyle.
Yeah. And then from city to city, job to job. Mm-hmm. Wherever the wind takes you.
Months and months away from home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was that hard?
No.
No.
At first, when I had a family.
Yeah.
When I didn't, it was like, whatever.
Right.
It's just where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you gained a lot of experience, and you gained a lot of knowledge about a very specific trade, a very lucrative trade. So.
It's even more now than ever.
Oh, everyone loves roofs.
It's because the prices of everything have gone up so much.
Yeah.
So roofs are right there with it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, dude. They cost so much money.
Yeah. All the building materials now and everything.
It's gone down since the whole COVID thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so there were roofs that during COVID I was pricing at $13, $14 a square foot on a 250,000 square foot building.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars.
Right.
To replace some of these roofs, and now that's dropped to like $7 something a roof. So it is going down, but it's still up higher than it was before the COVID shit.
Yeah.
There's something about the supplies. They weren't shipping supplies out. The cost of building materials went up. Like plywood doubled, and depending on the thickness and the quality of the board, tripled.
Yeah.
Marine grade quality, which you need to put on a roof. They were also letting people get away with stuff they would never let us get away with, like using different manufacturers' insulation and stuff like that. Like if you bought insulation from one company and this was that company's roof, you go, all of the material comes from JM as a company.
Okay.
Right? There's another company called Firestone. They make the same stuff, but it's theirs, and its product looks like theirs, but it
smells like theirs, gives you cancer like theirs.
It gives exactly the same amount of cancer in California, allegedly. But if you were doing this type of roof and an inspector came up and saw you had this company's stuff, they'd shut the whole thing down. Be like, what the fuck are you doing? Tear all this up. How much of this did you use? You can't use any of those screws on our roof.
Oh, shit. Oh, the roof wars.
Basically, I mean, it's just those systems are rated specifically for the things they sell, even though they're selling the same product. Like one's company's screws are red, the other ones are blue.
Oh, wow.
And you can't
mix and match.
If the inspector gets up, he's expecting to see all these blue screws, starts seeing red ones. He's like,
so is this the Bloods and the Crips of the roofing industry?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, it's like a gang thing. But during COVID and all that, they didn't give a shit. They're like, throw whatever you want on the roof, just build it.
All right, I think it's about time. Let's call a roofer, Jeremy.
Let's call a roofer.
Third time the charm.
There we go. Hey. So welcome to the show, Galt. It's the first time you've ever come on Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast.
It's the very first time I've ever been on the podcast. This is true.
And so, for anyone who doesn't know, this is Michael. He is Chuck's husband. I was about to say wife.
Oh God.
No, I'm not the wife anymore. Well, I am kind of the wife right now. I'm the stay-at-home wife right now.
Oh, must be nice. And so we have you on the show
has
because
been.
we're stealing a roofing podcast, the Roofers Roundtable. They talk to all sorts of people in the industry, and Jeremy was a roofing person. You were a roofing person, so I figured we'd have you on, share some stories.
Sounds like a plan. These stories can get kind of messed up, though.
So, Jeremy, if you had to talk to a fellow roofer, what would you ask them?
So was it heroin or cocaine?
Meth.
Yeah.
Actually.
That's the new breed.
Oh, so much. Like, there was coke, but that was kind of like what everyone did is just kind of like the halfway through the day, just to keep moving.
Standing in
Meth
line.
was the starter for the day and the hey, we got the job done celebration.
Standing in line at the Porta John, handing off bags.
Yes. Yep.
So what I would like to know is what is the percentage of sober people that are out there on roofs doing work?
It's very rare.
I was at least 0.01%.
Yeah, I mean, at least someone smoking weed before or at lunch or something. At least, you know.
But then
we're taking weed into account.
Yeah. I don't know.
We just
I don't know
we're
too
back
many
to
guys.
0%.
Yeah, I don't know too many guys who went all day every day for 3 months and didn't do anything.
yeah.
Yeah,
No.
and some
And
things
drunk all the time.
drinking all the time. I didn't drink before roofing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was everyone else. My first roofing gig, everyone was either on meth or pills or coke or testosterone and going to the gym after doing hot mopping all day. Those freaks.
I could not do that, and my buddy Danny did that all the time.
Yeah, freaks.
He would be blitzed out of his mind while working, and then he'd fucking do some testosterone and be like, let's go to the gym. No.
I just worked a 16-hour day, dude.
The world was our gym today.
Yeah, so the workout obsession that some of the guys get, I would say is a drug as well. They're always hopped up on testosterone and something.
Is there a lot of jacked roofers?
Yes.
But there are so many roofs look exactly like you think a crackhead looks like as well.
Yeah. Yep.
But he could probably, grab like 7 packs of shingles and go up a ladder.
Packs.
Yeah. Yeah. he can-
Go grab me a couple of those packs of shingles.
Yeah, the shingle packs.
Like Pokemon cards.
No, watching guys crawl up the ladder with a whole sheet of plywood.
Yep.
Do that on your back.
Ooh.
The best resi guys. Did you do residential roofing?
We did residential and we did commercial.
Yeah, the most residential guys, it benefits to be short and strong. Those tall guys bent over all day on a fucking shingle roof. They're just dying.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm assuming that's why they try and pump out those roofs in like a couple days.
Really pushing the
That
roof.
depends on the job. We'd be on a commercial. We were on a hot mop job for almost 2 weeks.
Ew.
It was terrible.
I did a hot mop job for 8 months. It was the
Fuck
biggest job
that.
I've ever done. 1.4 million squares. We were tearing off at an Air Force base.
Oh, is this the one with the secret warehouse?
Yeah, the warehouse. It was 1.4 million square. We tore up the old roof and then tore up the concrete deck. And then at lunch, the sheet metal guys would come in, put in a metal deck, and then we'd temp in, hot mop, temp in. And then the next day we'd go back.
What is temping in?
So we'd just mop a couple layers of tar and fiberglass over the top of it to keep it watertight. And then
Secured.
we built that roof up, dude. No lie, there were 5-foot parapet walls on this roof.
Holy cow.
And when we were done insulating it, they were 6-inch walls.
Oh, wow.
This thing was packed with so much tar and polyiso that it was a whole, I mean, nothing was getting through that roof.
And you're worried about putting a little garden up there.
Yep. This was a military base. It was a pretty hefty structure.
So it's also supposed to be insulated against missiles and stuff.
Yeah. Put enough insulation to bounce anything right off.
Yeah, it's like all the rubber at the back of the shooting range that absorbs all the bullets. They have that on the roofs.
No, the inside of that warehouse was hella cool. It was like...
Did you ever do residential?
I've only done that to help out people, to help put on a new roof. I didn't do it as a job.
Weirdest thing ever. Have looked down into someone's attic after removing some rotwood. We saw a coffin in their attic. A full-blown coffin.
It was glowing.
Oh, we found Grandma!
What the hell?
We were wondering what happened to her after the funeral.
No, the freakiest experience I had on Resi was walking across the roof and my foot going through the rotten wood and just dropping real quick.
More than once.
Oh, that could be. That's an instant YouTube video.
You just drop real quick. You have no idea what's happening.
If you figure out your thing, you throw yourself back. So hopefully you land on the roof. Mm-hmm. As long as you have done your tear out properly, because otherwise you're getting shredded by all those nails.
Yeah, my buddy on that Air Force job, he jumped over one of those pony walls onto the concrete deck that we were tearing up, and it was a weak part of the deck, which is why we were tearing up all the concrete, because it had gotten so weak. He jumped over it with a handful of trash, went right through the roof. We were 60 plus feet up in the air, and on the way down, he hit a plumbing pipe. One of those big ass sprinkler pipes, and he bruised up his arm, and then he fell into a debris net because it was an active building. We had to set up debris nets everywhere, so he fell into a debris net, and then all the concrete pieces started rolling towards him.
Oh no!
And then
so he's like saved. Rain. Oh no! And now imminent danger, and then saved, and then imminent danger.
And so those were all held up by zip ties.
It's the ups and downs. Oh God, I'm okay. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm okay. Oh no.
It's raining concrete. Help. Concrete and chicken wire, rebar, and shit. Oh God. And he said the zip ties were popping that were holding the thing, but we had a guy inside constantly cleaning up anything that got through the net,
including this man's soon-to-be dead body. So
he jumped into a scissor lift. He went up and he cut him out with a hook blade.
Oh, okay.
Got him.
You need to reach out to the producers for Final Destination, because I think you have a whole scene set up.
Yeah, there it is.
It was surreal though, being up on the roof, because I just watched him. He's like, "Hey, Jeremy," and he just went right through it. I was like, "Oh my God, my buddy's dead!" Like he's dead. He's got to be dead.
He's been smited. Yep.
Yeah, and by the time I ran across and fucking just jumped over all these walls to get to the stair tower, by the time I got halfway to the stair tower, I saw him on the ground and he was fine.
Hey, Jeremy.
Say, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
I believe in Jesus now. Hey everybody, Future Michael here. Just want to tell you about our band of the week, which we'll play at the end of the episode. It's The Lord in Vain. Ooh. With their song, Human Insect. But it's spelled with 2 K's instead of a C. Spicy. And we're brought to you by Dungeon Studios, makers of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons modules, as well as podcasts like The Game, Nerd News, and Fables from the Forgotten, which is an audio drama. And as media director for Dungeon Studios, I act and direct and produce all the fun sounds for that podcast for Fables of Forgotten. So check that one out. It's special for me, and it's important that you listen to it. Anyway, what else is going on? How are you? You been good? The weather's been crazy. All right, I love you. Bye.
I fell off a 2-story straight backwards, landed on my back, and knocked the breath out of me. I ended up going unconscious temporarily because I couldn't breathe. And then finally came to it like, not a damn thing broken, but my back was a giant bruise for like 2 weeks.
When it knocked
Only time I ever felt.
When it knocked all the air out of you, did your ears start ringing? Did you get that beep?
I don't remember. What I remember is looking over at my brother and then taking a step back because I'm just trying to look over the roof, make sure all our nails are pulled and all of our lines are straight. And then the next thing I know, I am getting woken up to the most severe pain I've ever had, worst headache of my life, and just struggling just to breathe, just struggling. Yeah, and everyone's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?"
You never walk backwards on a roof.
No,
never walk backwards.
Nope.
So have you guys like just having all the experience and like with these people? It's like you guys pull up to a job and you like look at a roof and it's like, oh, the angles. That's what we call a widow maker. Like logging.
No, once you've been a roofer, every single time you go by a house or a structure, one of the first things you always end up doing is looking up.
Yep.
Especially if you've done shingles and then you critique every other shingler's job, intentionally or otherwise. They fucked up that line.
My wife hates it. But anywhere we go, I'll be like looking up at something. She's like, "What are you looking at?" I was like, "It's a modified roof up there. It looks like it has granulated cap sheet. That one over there is TPO. You can tell by the surface mounted counterfeit." She's like, "Shut the fuck up."
That is a re-roof. Who even authorized that? Who inspected that?
All right, the worst for me now is I stay in a lot of hotels. I'm always flying to different places, and I open up my window and I can see like the city. So I see hundreds of roofs, or I can look right onto the hotel roof, like one of their canopies below me. I'm like, drain ring basket's missing. There's no T-patches. Who the fuck? I have to close my windows.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I would look at a roof and be like, I wonder if I could Spider-Man onto that.
Oh, we still wonder that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we know where to look, so there are low points and where there are high points, so we know where to look, which is the safest place to jump for our Spider-Man jumps.
Yeah, Jeremy, I know this week was a little rough for you, and it's kind of germane, but I guess you had a roofing buddy.
Yeah, I had a good buddy of mine. Wouldn't say we were like best friends, but I knew him for years.
Yeah.
Worked with him for years. We partied a lot as roofers together. And in the roofing industry, you come across three kinds of people. There's the tradesmen, the felons, and the drug addicts.
Uh-huh.
And it's a Venn diagram. You could cross many of those past. Yeah, at one point you're all three.
Yeah.
But it's an ebb and flow. And so what comes along with that life is especially if you were a felon like he was, no matter how when you come over to just be a tradesman and leave all that other stuff behind, sometimes that past catches up to you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my buddy was in a drive-by, an intentional drive-by. He just had his second child, 2 months old, and some young kids took out the old blood, so to speak.
Yeah, I guess he got himself into a few shenanigans, is what I would call it.
Just over time, yeah, he was in. He didn't have the most honest lifestyle.
Yeah.
Till the end. At the end, he had made a really good career out of roofing. Worked his way up.
Yeah.
So he wasn't getting dirty every day, making good money.
Yeah.
Went legit. And that's when they get you.
Yeah.
When you go legit.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
well.
Rest in peace, buddy.
Here's to him. Cheers.
I don't know if you can hear this, whichever direction you went, but anything we've already reached out to your wife and children and let them know anything they need. We're here.
All right, so question for both of you. What brings somebody into the roofing industry? What
I
sets
need to
somebody?
job a new roofer.
Oh, okay. So it's just that simple. Okay.
Desperation.
Okay.
Oh, see, there's never enough roofers.
Right.
There are never enough roofers. There's always a spot. And so it's one of those when you're at a point and you're like, crap, I need a job. If you go to pretty much any roofing company, you can say, hey, I need to work. And they will put you to work as long as you can pass most drug tests, or at least get someone to pass them for you.
Yep.
And,
Most places don't even test for weed anymore.
That's all you do.
So we tested your urine, and you're mostly buffalo. That's weird.
And that actually was the selling point to me. I was working 2 jobs. I was working at Publix and at a restaurant. And my brother called me up. He goes, "You can make more money with this one job than both those jobs together. You're gonna have to travel, but if you learn this trade, you'll always have a job no matter what."
That sounds appealing. It really does.
And it was true. Every time I tried to get away from roofing, when things didn't work out, I could just call up anybody I'd ever roofed with before and just get a bus ride. And I had a place to stay, tools, everything I needed.
The side work is on everyone needs help with their roof. And a lot of times, like especially here in Florida, if it's a small enough portion, I think it's less than 100 square feet, you can do it without any type of permit.
Yeah, you don't need a license
you can make
for
a
most
few $100.
For most repairs and stuff.
You,
don't even need a
$200
license.
real easy.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, hurricane season shingles on the ground. There's work.
Yep.
So what was besides falling off of roofs and the dangers involved in roofing? What's a fun?
Just keep doing the V.
Yeah, roofing. So was there any just like the lifestyle, the roofing lifestyle, where you kind of got put into a precarious situation due to the type of people that you were experiencing the roofing life with? Like, was there any fights?
All of the time. Better yet, I was the only one with a legal, valid driver's license.
You run into that a lot. If you got a driver's license in roofing, you got another $10 in your hourly, dude. You're the best guy there. If you never roofed before, but you got a license and can pass a drug test, you might as well be the foreman.
Well, that's funny.
Yep.
No, we dealt with a lot of so meth especially can unlock schizophrenia in people.
Oh.
And a lot of these guys are schizophrenic and they're passing. Like they can still show up to work every day and stuff, but would mumble to themselves or threaten to stab each other. I had 2 guys who were on meth at one point, got into a fight.
So this is like at one of the hotels that you all are staying at?
This was on the roof.
Oh, it was on the roof?
This was on the roof. Yeah,
Okay.
they were.
Oh, so many fights break out during work. 'Cause it's hot. We get grumpy.
Yeah.
And when you're 60 plus feet in the air, it's not good. Can't be fighting near the edge 60 feet up.
Gravity is my murder weapon.
It's really easy to kill someone on the roof.
Yeah.
It's super easy to kill someone on a roof. There's plenty of tools and edges
Yeah.
on a roof. So these guys were fighting, and they were, granted, they were tied off at the edge, but they were fighting on the edge. And I had my foot that had been messed up from this injury I got a long time ago roofing. And so I'm hobbling towards him, yelling,
Hey!
like, fucking knock it off. But I can't get to him quick enough. So I took my fucking hammer out and I chucked it at him. And it fucking landed right between them. And they both went, "What the fuck?" And I went up, I was like, "Get the fuck off my roof right now, blah, blah." I was the only sober guy on the roof.
Right.
Fucking, they walk off. They go down to the truck. The project manager pulls up. And they're like, "What the fuck are you guys doing down here?" I'm like, "Fucking Jeremy fucking kicked us off for no fucking reason. Fucking piece of shit." So here they come back and marching up all confident behind the project manager. And he's like, "Jeremy, you can't go around just kicking people off the fucking roof." I was about to throw my hammer at him. So I walked off the roof. I took my driver's license, foreman ass, and I drove off the job site.
Do you guys get really excited when you hear an ice cream truck?
The guys do when so food trucks fall around construction,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So when they see the taco truck pull up, they're like, "Hey boss, can we take lunch early?" And I look down and I see like 30 people standing in line. I'm like, "No, dude, no. We'll go in about an hour." When I see that truck getting ready to leave.
Yeah, and then in residential world, you got to remember we get on the roofs early, like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then we're usually done by 2, 3 o'clock because it'll get so hot up there that you can't stand on the shingles when you're working because you'll fuck them up.
Yeah.
And you'll fuse.
so, no.
You are now part of the roof.
It was like that for
So
Hot Mop
all
too.
of the kids are in school. There's no ice cream truck coming to save us.
it's like Everest. This roof is littered with the bodies of roofers that worked on it, keeping the water out.
Those the Hot Mop jobs.
Every roofer knows someone who got stuck on the roof over lunch, or over like some guys know a guy who ended up getting stuck on a roof overnight because people forgot about it. They didn't clean up, and someone was sleeping off in a corner.
Yep.
Yeah, we left the guy on a roof overnight.
Hello.
Definitely,
Help me.
I've definitely left guys behind on job sites before, but it's usually the guys who you tell them every day they're new, right? You go, this truck right here, you're going to ride in this truck, and I want you to get in the same truck every day. Show up at 4:00 every morning, and you jump in this fucking truck. No other truck, and stop asking me how am I going to get this? Stop it. This is your truck. And for weeks,
Come here, go there.
for weeks, it's like you see everyone taking off for lunch. I'll be the last guy, and I'll see him sitting there looking around, not knowing what truck to get into to go to lunch. He's like, boss, I don't know what to do. It's like, God damn it. Jump in the same truck, you fucking idiot. And it'll go on for weeks and weeks until they finally get it through their head. So those guys are the ones who get left behind.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's not someone who's got good situational awareness.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I don't know about you, but we found that most of the people on the roof when I was working were, one, Hispanic of some variation, or B, from up north usually.
Like Michigonians?
There are a
Yeah,
lot of Northerners, yeah.
Just so many people come from up north to roof.
So the beginning of my roofing career was with a predominantly white crew out of Washington State. I was from Florida, and I got the call about the job, and they were working in Oklahoma. So I showed up to my first roofing group, and it was mostly white dudes. And then for the next 6 years, I was the only white guy on all black crews, traveling all over the country.
One of my favorite roofing buddies. His name's Juan.
Of course,
Okay,
of course.
Hispanic name. Cool. He is black. Okay. He is also Muslim. So this guy was clean. He didn't eat pork. He did his prayers on time. Named Juan, and he was the most confusing person on the roof because he didn't have a vice. Later, I ended up finding out he was a terrible person outside of work, but the best
he
fucking
didn't
roofer
do
I
meth,
have
but he
ever
was a
known.
child molester.
Oh.
Yeah, something along. Very abusive. I don't think he ever ended up touching kids, but yeah, he beat the shit out of kids.
Oh.
We had a chimo on the roof one time.
A what?
A chimo?
A chimo.
Mm-hmm. Galt knows what I'm talking about.
I feel like it's short for chimera or
Yep,
something.
exactly. That's exactly what it's short for.
Yep.
No, it was a child molester. It
Oh.
was a chimo on the roof. And so it was. Does that tickle you, Galt, that Mike didn't know what a chimo was?
I feel like roofers have their own language.
No, well.
Yeah,
Remember what I
agree.
said about the Venn diagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to.
So you have to remember.
Go ahead.
Oh, some of these guys are coming from prison, and you're like, "Hey, what were you in for?" If they don't want to tell you,
Then you know what it is.
then it was probably something to do with kids. And normally, when they keep it quiet, someone will look it up and be like, "Oh, this motherfucker," and everyone knows within 24 fucking hours
It
that
happens.
we're stuck with some piece of shit.
And it'll happen years. You'll be working with a guy for years. This happened to me. Same kind of case. It was a black dude who was Muslim. He became Muslim in prison because you can't fuck with the religious people in prison. So a lot of these guys find religion in prison to not get fucked with. Worked with him for years. Been to his house for barbecues, all this stuff. And then my buddy, I get a text on the way home one day. We have a 3-hour drive home. We've been working 3 weeks straight. It's his face, his mugshot, and the things he did. And you're like,
Oh, damn.
and you got to go. And my foreman looks at me and he goes, "Is that text what I think it is?" I go, yeah. He's like, now you fucking listen here, Jeremy. That guy's here every fucking day. You've worked with him for years. You can't all of a sudden start bullying this guy off the roof. Like, you can't. He's worked here. We don't know if he still does that stuff. He's working with us all the time, so he's probably not. When does he have time?
The desperation from the managerial aspect.
Right. And you have to continue about your day. So the only thing that changed from there is, he was a rhino guy. So there's a system where they use magnets to induction weld to induction weld the membrane to the plates. It's a new system. And it's the laziest job on the roof. You literally click a button, put a magnet on it, click a button all day, put a magnet on it. So once I found out this information.
I never did that.
Yeah, it's new. It's the cleanest, easiest way. It's so nice. So he'd have all of his 15 magnets all set up in a row. And I just whip my robot cord, my walker cord, through his magnets and scatter them everywhere.
Okay.
Every once in a while.
It's like, listen, Jeremy, until the good Lord sends an eagle to fling him off of the roof, he's going to be there. Okay.
He'd be like, hey, you going to the store? Grab me a Coke. I'm like, sure will. And I just don't get him anything.
Oh, sorry.
Stuff like that. But you still have to be like, hey, how's it going? Thanks for showing up today. It's very rare for a roofer to show up every day for years.
Well.
Oh yeah.
But we had a Chimo. It was his first.
The worst thing is around tax season. Tax season, everyone disappears.
Yeah.
It's pretty
they
common.
Get tax rich and no one needs to work for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Until they spend it on meth.
Yep, that's usually what happens.
Yep.
They need a new fix. They come back to work.
But we had a Chimo. It was his first day. Right, he was new onto our crew. I was just a roofer, just a regular roofer. I could go off and do whatever I needed to do, no oversight. So I saw him over there throwing trash and doing stuff. I'm like, all right, that's the new guy. We get to lunch, and one of our guys finds out that he's a Chimo from 7 states away, and that he's got an active case, and that it was his niece. His 6-year-old niece. And this guy had the face, right? He was pale. You could tell he'd never been on a roof, never worked outside.
They have a mustache.
Just covered in acne.
Ew.
Blonde on pale.
Did he have a lazy eye?
No, he's just tall and lanky and disgusting looking.
Oh.
And so I found out, but because I wasn't a foreman, I wasn't a lead. I was just a roofer that they couldn't fire because I was a good roofer.
Yeah.
And I found out about this. I walked up to him and he turned around. He's like, hey, Jeremy. And I threw a shovel at him. And I was like, pick that up, you fucking Chimo, and go scoop something, you faggot. I was just yelling all this shit at him. I was cussing at him. And then the foreman came up and was like, hey, we don't know the full story. And I was like, fuck that. Fuck that story. I don't give a shit. Do you know what he did? And I'm just screaming it. Now everyone's hearing it. And that guy left and never came back.
No.
He was gone after that. I think he got extradited and brought back and faced charges.
In South Dakota.
It was something like that. I think he was from North Dakota, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was far away.
Dakotians. Nope, not doing this.
To alienate the whole all the
Nope.
Dakotas.
Shut it down, Michael. Shut up.
Cut that.
Not everything has to be a joke.
Did you find, though, like, did you get sober off of doing meth and stuff while a roofer? Did you get to be a roofer as just a tradesman?
I didn't use meth.
He was joking.
I didn't use meth.
Okay.
No, yeah, he was making a joke.
Oh, my bad.
I thought you were asking just in general. The overall take while working was meth with the crew I worked on. No,
Yeah,
my
it
thing
is.
was weed. That's what I did.
Yeah, weed was always the best. You'd be sitting there working all day, and your buddy would be like, hey, and he'd show you a blunt. And then you and like one other roofer would go to a corner and hide behind insulation or something.
I found a roof apple.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, those were the best.
Someone pull out their little one hitter.
Yeah, the little
Passing
baseball
that thing
bat.
around. Yep.
Yeah, when the pens came out, when the cartridges and the pens became available, it was over. Everybody had it on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my foreman every morning would be like,
No.
you need this.
Our foreman refused to let us out there. The very first guy that brought one out, his name was Danny. He pulled this thing out. He had set it down on a chimney, and we just forgot we were working. Someone was standing next to it, and the battery then exploded, and he got burns all down his back.
Oh,
So our foreman was like, "You can't have these things up here. They're a danger." Blah 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 blah.
It ruined it for everybody.
I'd never been a huge one to vape myself, just because I cough all the time when I vape. But everyone had those things stuffed in their pockets. 3, maybe 4 weeks after this, we've all gotten a huge ban. You can't have them. Blah blah blah. My older brother, Rob, he actually had his blow up in his pocket.
Oof.
He ended up having to go to the hospital and get a part of his butt fixed because it got all singed.
Oh, God.
That happened to our buddy Zabel's, too.
Oh.
He had except his was worse. It was a portable charger in his pocket. The lithium batteries, if something damages them, they just become a liquid fire.
Yeah.
And it just burned him all the way from his ass. The same, it was in his pocket. It went from his ass all the way up his back.
Oh, damn. Oof. That's no fun.
No, those things are great. I've buried them in roofs. There's just ticking time bombs.
It's the hidden treasures.
Like, I've never planted one and buried it, but I've seen guys like throw it just in the grooves of the deck. Now, have you found anything cool? You did the coffin. You found the coffin tearing up the wood. My buddy found they were doing a tear off on a commercial deck, and shoved into the metal deck was a perfectly preserved, I think it was large Burger King cup.
It was a McDonald's Batman glass from the 90s.
It was the Backstreet Boys.
Oh.
Their first album, first tour was on the cup.
Oh, that's cool.
I found it it was probably full of piss and stuff over the years.
It was a Hercules plate.
No. Another weird thing we found, we were actually replacing a soffit, and we were just tearing down soffit because it was this wooden rotten crap on the underside. And we found what we were going to assume was probably the people who put up the soffit, because it was Budweiser from like 1974 or something like that, because the copyright stamp or whatever their little thing on the board 6-pack thing was still there, even though the whole thing was like rotted away. Did not try it.
Budweiser's forever.
Did not try it.
Yeah, it makes quality packaging.
Back in the good old days.
All right, well, it's about time to let you go, Galt. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was nice talking to a guy who knows something about it.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Another time, gentlemen.
All right, well, you have a good one, buddy.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. We have been Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast, as we have stolen the Roofers Roundtable with Brett Hoofman or whatever. Brett Hutter. And we wanted to thank you for tuning in. Jeremy got to get a lot of roofing stories off. Is there any last-minute stories you wanted to incorporate before we go into the end of this episode?
Yeah, roofers they're not really drug addicts. Roofers are great. All of them. Every single one of them. If you hire a group of roofers, they're professional.
Okay.
That's all I got to say.
All right. Jeremy's he's reneging on all the things that he said. So
Super professional bunch of people.
I agree.
Not a chimo in the bunch.
You know what, Jeremy? Every roofer that I have met in my life has been a pretty awesome guy.
Those 4 Mexicans on your house and me.
Those gentlemen, you and Michael. All pretty, and your brother and Sam. Yeah. So great guy.
My brother was one of the rare sober guys.
Yeah.
Through he can say, I'm not going to smoke weed anymore, and he just doesn't. 6 months, and then he'll be like, I feel like I'm gonna smoke today.
Yeah.
Do it, and then never do it again.
A lot of discipline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very disciplined guy.
Yeah.
He was one of the gym rat guys, just without all the testosterone and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like the shining example. Probably who Brett Hutter and his friends on the podcast, probably more like Sam.
Oh, sure.
In that aspect.
Very professional, this Brett Hutter.
Something that I am now.
Hutman?
All the stories I told are very old, very old stories of my roofing career. I'm in the more professional space now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you deserve it because you worked your butt off.
I do appreciate it.
From the bottom to the top, Jeremy.
The bottom for a really long time, and then the middle for kinda, and now I'm doing good.
Yeah, you did it, and that's a great takeaway from anyone who is doing anything. You know, you could be working at Papa John's and just making pizzas, and one day you'll own the company.
You are Papa John. You've always been Papa John.
Don't call me that. How dare you? He was a chimo or whatever.
Was he? I think he just said the N-word on the phone one time.
Oh, okay.
In a private call that was recorded and released. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's what happened to him.
That's a shame.
Pretty sure he just got hit saying something stupid on the phone.
People say stupid stuff all the time.
His pizza's better than everybody else's.
All right, Jeremy. Well, let's see. We have been Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast. Every Monday.
MJSYVERSE.com.
Jazz. That is our email if you want to contact the show. If you have a podcast that you want us to steal, if you have a show and you want us to do it, please send us an email at UHJYEAH at MJSYVERSE.com.
People are so confused about what we do. It seems they're always like, what do you mean steal our podcast?
I know, very confused. They should listen more and understand it. So let's see. We have a phone number. The phone number that we use to talk to Michael about roofing, it's 903-287-0660. And we have a voicemail.
We have a voicemail?
Hey, Jizzy Pod, take me off your freaking call list. Fuck you.
All right.
All right. So the story behind this, Jeremy, is I got this and I let this person leave a voicemail, and I texted. I texted back. I said, "Love you too, buddy."
Was that from the John Breaks Bad News episode? Is that someone who called us back?
I cross-referenced every number we called and any number that came through. This had nothing to do with that. This is a guy who just called our number and left that voicemail. I said, "Love you too, buddy." And they respond with, "Oh, do I owe you an apology / explanation?" And I said, "LOL, it's okay. Some scammer probably used a random number generator. You're good, man. Haha." And he's like, "Well, you're exactly right. Sorry, it put you in the middle. I follow through on the hope that one day one of those guys is going to turn around and I'll be standing there." It's hard to imagine that phone service has come to this. And then a photograph, like an emoji of a caution barrier, and then a dynamite stick, and then a fire, and then a monkey closing his eyes with his hands, and then a tiger who's very surprised.
So he's a fan.
No.
He listens to the show.
Nope.
Yeah, all those emojis. Your show is the bomb. Caution, this show is the bomb.
I think this man was trying to showcase how he would like to vigilante against scammers that call him. And so I've tried caution barrier, dynamite, fire, monkey holding his eyes, like the monkey see, or see no evil, right? And then a very surprised tiger.
Mike, call this guy back.
We don't have time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for calling. What is your PIN number?
His name is Alan.
Oh, hello today, Mr. Allen.
Right. Maybe another time. You know what? If enough people go on to one of our many social media sites, which is MJSYPOD on Instagram, Facebook, X, which I don't use.
TikTok.
We're on TikTok.
Are we on TikTok?
Yes, we are.
Oh.
MJSYPod.
Check it out.
If anybody uses any of our socials that says you need to have Alan on the show, I will try to make it happen, but not until then.
Okay.
Okay. And, submit your band's music. If you want to be featured as our band of the week, send in your music. You can send it to that email. Or if you want to just go to our website, MJSYPod.com. All the information is there in order to get your music to us or to steal your podcast. And what else, Jeremy? No one cares about the treasure.
It exists.
It
no
exists.
one cares about it.
If more people were interested, I'd probably leave more obvious clues. But until then. So, yeah.
I think we nailed everything.
Think we got it.
Except you didn't ask Galt the question.
Shit.
All right, well, love you, buddy.
Shit.
Peace.
Bye.
Every day is nightmares stuck on repeat. Dead inside, but the lights
was soffit. I don't know. And there's part of this roof.
That's on the underside of the building, Mike.
Jeremy, we're 75 feet in the air, I'm assuming, based on the fact that this is a 10-story building. So surely at least 75 feet, I wouldn't know. I'm not an expert, but lift my body up, Jeremy. Save me.
I got you, Mike.
Save Jeremy, why are you holding a hot mop?
I just had to repair this thing over here.
Why is the mop so hot?
You got to get the tar up to 550 degrees, Mike, before you can just lay it out.
Jeremy, who thought of this?
I had to set up the high boy so I could fill up the kettle.
Oh God, I'm taking the weird ladder down. Fuck this. Fuck roofs. Who needs them? You know what? We survived in caves as cave people. You know what? Those roofs are already there. They didn't even have to build any roofs because the caves were roofs.
Yep, the caves with their roofs that are known to cave in.
We'll see.